Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Flubcast. It is the day after that massive semi final between Barbados and TNT. And today's episode, I'll be focusing on Barbados going through their squad, saying who performed well, who performed a little bit below the standard required. But I would say Barbados had an excellent game. There are many things to say about TNT, and we'll get to that. But before I do, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, and this is just my opinion. I am somebody who watches 15s with an appreciation for scrums and mauls and just line out work and the technical gifts of some of these athletes. I see it a lot like mixed martial arts. If you're watching judo or sumo wrestling, where you have an appreciation for people who develop strength but use their technique to manipulate others' body position and get that go forward within the realm of the laws. And sometimes I think when I look at the Caribbean and sometimes some of the countries that focus a lot on rugby league, maybe even Australia, I notice sometimes the refs see the scrums and the lineouts as just opportunities to get the ball back in play so that the backs could run their lineout moves. And that is wrong. 15s is a different game than 7s. If I want to just watch backs run against backs, you could watch 7s, and that's a beautiful thing. But 15s is about tight, limited space and putting your will against another person's and using the laws and using your technique to bend the other person and manipulate them and get those penalties, get those go forwards, and hold them at your mercy. And I thought there were a few cases yesterday, especially when I was watching some of the mauls, that TNT were doing some illegal things, either coming in from the side or pulling it down. And Barbados were unlucky for them not to get cards. That's my personal opinion. I would say if a outside back or an outside centre constantly was flying in offside position or slapping the ball down, it happens once, twice, yellow card shown. But for some reason in the Caribbean, we allow infringements at scrums and we allow it at lineouts and mauls over and over, and we keep on saying, oh, well, that one was just from the side. Oh, that one was pulling down. Oh, that infringements are infringements, and once they start to build, a card has to come. You're killing a team's ability to play off it. That is its own weapon. Just like you have people who want to play on the outside channels, the mauls and the scrums are their own weapon. And a maul, you could take a maul from your own 5 and control it and drive the entire way up the pitch and score. And that is fine. It is not something. There were a few times as well where the maul was going forward for Barbados, and I saw the referee want them to start to use it, and they had to put it out. And I thought to myself, why? It is not stagnant. It does not have to go out. It's at the back. It's controlled. And TNT were under some big pressure. There were a few times now. There were 2 scrums 100%. And this is not me being critical of the referee. It's his interpretation. It is impossible. I could not possibly do it. I'm just saying from my vantage point where I am all the way up at the top of the stands and I could look down and see things easy. It's so easy for me. It's not easy for these referees. I know they're under a ton of pressure and they're doing their best. And it's interpretation. It's subjective. But I saw it besides 2 scrums where, yes, Barbados did some early engagements. They were in control. And they were even sometimes, I just thought, even logistically, it would not have made sense for them to intentionally give away a penalty where they engaged, the ball came in, they were getting that push and go forward. The scrum came down because TNT couldn't support it, and the penalty went against Barbados. And I was thinking to myself, but it's even Barbados ball. There's no logical reason for them, when they've generated go forward, to intentionally collapse. Now, that does not mean Barbados did everything perfectly from the mauls or the scrums, and I'll get to that as I'm running through certain people. But I would say this is another example of where it's up to the captains and the scrum halves, and we'll speak about that, about you have to set your narrative early with the referee. When you have basically 2 chances. One as the captain before the game, when you're speaking to the referee, really to set it, to say, sir, we're going to be focusing primarily on mauls today. You're going to notice us do this. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get that drive. We're trying to get them offside and start to come in from the side. Please make sure that they're not trying to stop it illegally. This is really where we want to focus today. Help us do that. Once you have that meeting with the referee, it is done. Then it falls on the scrum half not to talk directly to the referee, but while the maul is taking place, while the scrum is taking place, you're speaking indirectly You're saying to your players, that's it, boys. Keep this drive going. The Santa come down the side. So he's not yelling, ref, they're coming down the side. You should give a penalty. But you are setting it. The referee is hearing the conversation. You're seeing it. Boys, the Santa splinter. We're starting to go right. Hold it. Don't. Slow it down here. We're going to reset. Pull that man from the back. Get him reset again. Hookers trying not to break off early. Or from the scrum, go forward at the 8-man's feet. They're going forward. Keep the drive going, boys. We have it. Penalties coming. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And even when you have that penalty there, you have the time. It's not immediate. But when you have that go forward especially, it is criminal. Absolutely criminal to remove the ball. You have your foot on the throat of the opposition. You are going forward. They are at your mercy. Everybody is sucked in. And then you take all the pressure off to this, put it out where it's neutral. It makes no sense. You have it. That is the aspect of the game. So with that now, I'm going to go through some of the players. Sorry about that rant, everybody. I just can't help myself. So on to the Bayesian players. And I'm going to start with the props, Antonio Gibbons and Bradley Harewood. Well, I thought that they did a fantastic job. I think especially Mr. Harewood. I looked at him. I went back through the footage as well. And boy, I'm impressed. Another big misconception with a lot of the Caribbean players in the front row is, yes, when you're scrummaging, you have to keep yourself set going forward. You cannot bore in, you cannot drop, there's so many things you cannot do. And the good props know the difference in the law when it comes to the maul. You're not trying to get 3 people and everybody going forward. You want to create almost like that ship where the 2 props are going in at the angle once you come down and set on that line out jumper and you bore. And why? Because you want the defense to splinter. You're not trying to get that box going forward. You're trying to get 1 point of force and get everything going there. If you start to splinter and then coming down the side, your scrum half is saying again, look, there's Santa splinter, guys, that's it. Hold. If you're starting where they're going right through and it's going too fast and it's going to become a truck and trailer, you slow it down, you reset, you grab percent. The last thing you want to do is just say, give up that sort of tempo for an extra 5 yards for it to become, then it falls down and it becomes just a standard rock. You have it. It is the one area of the game where you basically can block your way and just go right down the field. But especially Mr. Harewood, I really hope I see him again in the future because that was a great performance. And I just love to see it. And same thing for Mr. Gibbons. Great performance. Look back at the footage. Do not be despondent with some of the calls there. I'm not saying you all did everything perfectly. I'm just saying a lot went right in the scrums and the mauls. Big improvement. Same thing, Mr. Howard. Great work around the park. Your line outs were great. You came down great. Once again, do I personally think when you have it at the back that sometimes when it's starting to turn, you get a little impatient. You can reset your body. You could even roll with your shoulder, as you know. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. There's no reason to come off. You have that go forward. You can reset. The scrum half could pull around as well. But otherwise, the 3 up front, wonderful game. On to the locks now. Unfortunately, what a monster loss it was for Sean Ward to get injured in that first 5 minutes there. A lot, even when you saw them doing the warm-up, they wanted to use Sean Ward with the line out there where almost you'd have 3 centres off it. Comes off the top of the line out, going out wide there. Sean with the ball. The backs push out a little bit. You could use him either going straight up because he's so deadly, just taking it up himself. He was replaced in the end by Rajiv Grant, who actually had a stellar game as well. I think he scored a try off one of the pick and goes at the end, and that is well reserved. But Sean Ward must be shattered. For him to come off, it must have been just impossible to play. And again, exciting option. Exciting to see him make that transition. It really looked like it was going to be working. The next one, of course, is Lewis Johnson, who continues to impress me. Love him around the park. He's going to be very frustrated that there were a few times where he was carrying it up and he lost the ball forward and he just saw him absolutely shattered by it. But he does so much right. He offers so much as well. He's actually great as well. A lot of times I wanted to use Enrique Oxley offensively to pick up. He went up a few times defensively. I would love to see on defensive ball that it would actually be maybe Bradley in front, Bradley Harewood in front, Enrique Oxley jumping at 2, and Lewis Johnson as the next guy. The kind of height they would get with Lewis Johnson picking up Enrique Oxley defensively. I would just love to see how that operates. On next to Enrique Oxley, who was unbelievable in the air, rarely moved around. I questioned his mobility before, just to be maybe a little playful, and great. And not only that, this Barbados team, so magnanimous. Even after the loss, they're around, they're shaking hands, they're talking to people. everything you love about rugby. This group is a very, very special group, and I hope the Barbados fraternity realize that. What ambassadors. On to the open side, Dan Martin. Big, big carries as we expected. So much drive. And I think a lot of the things that happened well with the lineout was also him settling it down, having that strength, that extra little know how going around. He was moving very, very well. It would be his first time really coming down here and playing in his 15th fixture of this magnitude against a TNT with that sort of humidity. Couldn't have been easy. Shaquille Dight was able to get the better, just some of the wider channels again. That's what we expected, but we are thankful and we hope to see Mr. Martin down again. Mr. 8, Jeremy Nelson. So many big breaks by the man. Again, I was critical of him in the first half with some of those picks when the scrum was going forward. I didn't think he needed to pick and go. He knows what he wants to do, but you have to allow that penalty to materialize. You cannot disrespect your tight five who has that drive on. You're going. When you break, they are like, what the hell? We were about to get it. Why would we give up that tempo? It makes no sense. But Nelson is a special player, and it's just a matter of time. It's these little small things, and Barbados are up that next level. That is the fact, because they have so many areas where, especially against Mexico, they are showing the expertise already, and that's what you want to see. So we will continue to watch Mr. Nelson grow, an exciting prospect. On to Kadeem Knight, who again was showing his talent around the field, and I thought his distribution was a lot quicker. So congratulations, Mr. Knight, fantastic. I'm going to say again with your mobility, there were twice as well where Mr. Nelson left the ball at his feet and it was walking. It was a 5-meter scrum. I think I put up a highlight of it even on my channel, my shorts, to just say 5-meter scrum. Mr. Harewood, tight head, gets the engagement. They are going. It is straight. It's at Nelson's feet. There's no reason to use it. He could walk in and Nelson could just put his hand down, try. And for some reason, he went digging and put it out. Just a little inexperience there. He has to just learn a little bit more about how to reset that ball when it starts to splinter. It is up to him. It's his vocab. Everything that he says, the ref listens. So it's no direct engagement with the ref, but you are setting the narrative. We're going forward here, boys. We're going to reset it. We're going right there. We're talking. So that the ref is hearing what you want to do, and he knows. So when he starts to see the infringements coming, he's saying, oh, hey, this man they're stopping this offensive. They're stopping this unit. That is a penalty. That is a card. And there's nothing wrong with Mr. Oxley, again, just asking to just say, sir, just politely saying, notice that's the third infringement on the line out there, really trying to kill our maul here. What could we do about it? Set it. So it's not you have to do something about it. It's what can be done about it. Because the only thing that could be done is a card. If the ref keeps on giving penalty, well, that's a net win. On to the fly half, Liam Caddy. Nice performance as well. Those kickoffs were first class, moved it around, big body. I think he enjoyed the experience down here. Another class guy. I want to see him come down here again. Looking at the footage there, I mean, it's tough for these guys who fly in. They got a lot of a chance to work together, and I thought a lot they did well. So well done, Mr. Howard. Same thing from Mr. Hakimian. Great player, great carries, great distribution. He must be so frustrated and fed up with TNT because he knows what he wants to do. It's coming off. I just think Barbados is so close to firing, and a lot of it, if they just keep this group together. Same thing with Mr. Jake Caddy. Nice game at outside centre. Did a ton right defensively. Keep this group together. And of course, now on to the wings. Jaden Howell, Simon John. These are game breakers. Absolute class. Simon John comes on again, scores another 2 tries. Jaden Howell making all sorts of things happen out wide. But I would say, and it's very tough. Unfortunately, the footage we got is all at ground level. When I was up in the stands especially, Mr. Howell and John both just want to push up defensively. Even when the fullback there, Callum Dunn, had to work to his left on one time for that first try with Tank. He had to push left. Option was instantly identified by TNT. Kick over, but because Mr. John was moving forward to try to close out that space, it left a big gap behind for them to run on. That happened twice with Jaden Howell as well, and we won our 50-20. But otherwise, I mean, these are simple fixes, and the more you play, the more you watch. So many of these guys, man, I know it's impossible, but I would just kill for them to have a full season in a Trinidad league, and we would all just learn so much from each other. And last but not least is Callum Dunn as the starters. Great game. great game at fullback. So sure hand, speaks to his wingers so well, moves, broke the line a few times, just couldn't get that last pass off. The option wasn't there. That's it. When Callum makes that run and go, that's the time that Howell and John and KD Knight have to say, this is it. Once he starts to, you see him choose his angle and he's going, you got to get off his shoulder. Everything, just get off his shoulder, because if it's not 100% on, he will pull it back and drop, and you'll have tons of time to reset. But once he makes that half break, it has to happen. You got to get there. Onto the bench, Albert Stout, who I thought was great when he came on. Absolutely great. Not only made himself available for a few carries, didn't throw any 50-50 passes, but he did have that little bit of extra patience at the back of those mauls, and it was rewarded. They set it up there off one of the 5 meters that he ended up resulted. They did a few pick and goals, and I think that's when Rajiv Grant scored at the end. You saw what Barbados' bench was able to do, and I was very, very impressed. I thought TNT would be able to carry it, but it was actually Barbados' bench that did tons and tons right. I can't remember. I mean, I would like to mention everybody. I can't recall everybody. So I cannot really say too much about Mr. Ramsey. I know he's a good player. I can't recall directly, and I apologize about that. Nick Daniel, he came on. He did a few things right. It was a short little stint. He's frustrated because I believe he gave away one engagement penalty, and he was shattered by it. And it's when Barbados couldn't afford to do it. But he does a lot right, and I appreciated the conversation with him after the game. Very open and honest. Appreciated. Rajiv Grant, he was moved to the bench for this game, came on early for Sean Ward. Obviously, he doesn't have the exact same distribution, but he did a lot of good carry work. A ton of great carry work. He got held up once at the end there that he's going to be frustrated about. Got his height wrong, but otherwise, really impressive performance by Rajiv. Well done. Stephen Miller, I have to apologize. Not as much game time as I would have liked. Great player. Same thing with Mr. Blades. Not a lot. DeAndre Phillip, when he came on, things happen. He has that same patience I talk about with fly halves. So you start to make your run, you make your angle, but you're not just instantly going to throw. You allow the defense to set before you get that pass off. And he has a cannon for a boot. Now, I would just say, and you'll hear it when I do TNT review next, one thing I would say is, Barbados was running out of time, and yes, they were playing out of their own 22, but at some stage you have to say, look guys, we got to back ourselves. We can't just kick and play territory. We got to go for it now. We got to trust each other. We simply don't have an option. And that was one thing TNT did all game. I'm a pessimistic person by nature, but the way that TNT, especially Rory O'Farrell, when there was a turnover, even if it was on his own 5, that he's able to look up, assess and say, yes, we're playing from our 5, but we have the advantage and I'm going to play it. And it was 2 passes out and it was a 3-on-1 overlap. So sometimes I would just say Barbados had it, they won a turnover, and it wasn't a recognition to say we have this turnover and we actually have manipulated the space and we have a chance to go for it. It was, we won a turnover, we just want to play territory. And you all are getting too good now. Yes, the Barbados of 15 years ago where they had a little lack of experience, it's just like, kick it, like we'll just reset defensively. You all have too much game breakers now to simply just say, well, any situation will kick it away. That's another big step there. And last but not least is the winger, Tareen. Yeah, got it right. Tareen Marshall. I think I pronounced it right that time. He came on and had a nice little cameo as well. Real young player, but with a big future as well. So congratulations. I know Barbados are going to be frustrated, and rightly so, because this is a very talented squad. But just keep at it, guys. This is one for the future. And if y'all could keep adding, y'all are attracting eyeballs. And I would just say again, because I'm a person who particularly watches the 15s version of the games, because I like the mauls, I like the art of it all, and the scrums, and people who understand it, watching them go against other teams and show them, like, look, this is that, and you set it, and the other team looks so helpless and powerless because you can't stop it when it's done correctly. It is a thing to watch. And I hope Barbados continue. I don't want it to be one performance. Say, no, look, the ref didn't go our way. It's very subjective, and I think you all should keep at it, and I would like to see it. All the best, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope to shake some hands with you all again, and I just want to say again to the Barbados fraternity, class, guys. Not one of them sulked after the game. Everybody was there talking to the opposite number, lime in saying, if y'all ever in Barbados, we would love to host y'all. Great, great ambassadors. And I hope to see y'all again. All the best, guys. See y'all soon.